Hey everyone, welcome to The Glitch, episode number 2 with Marlon Smith.
Have you ever had a time in your life when things didn't go as you expected? I mean, sometimes you feel like, why me? How did this happen? I remember I went to the University of Virginia and I studied electrical engineering in school, and I knew I didn't do that well one particular semester. I just knew, and I didn't think it was as bad as it was. You see, my transcript came home and I was a little nervous, but I was wishing, I was praying, I was hoping that things turned out. And you've been there, I'm sure. Where you just know things didn't go as good, but you feel like maybe there's a little bit of some light at the end of the tunnel. Well, I remember when I got this transcript and I opened up the envelope and it said that I had a 1.6 grade point average. Woo! Ouch. Just thinking about it makes me sneeze. Bless you. Thank you. And, I really was like, oh my God, a 1.6. I mean, I failed a class. Maybe I failed 2 classes now that I think about it. But, the thing is, it's like, oh my goodness. What am I going to do? And I said, how am I going to explain this to my parents? And I eventually got the nerve to go up and talk to my dad, talk to my mom. And I remember my dad saying, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I mean, it's expensive to go to college, and 1.6 GPA. I mean, that's like failing. And I'll never forget. He said, I want you to go into the bathroom. I want you to look yourself in the mirror. I want you to ask yourself this question: did I do my best? Did I do my best? And when he said it, I thought I was going to be punished. I thought there was going to be some yelling. And he said, no, I just want you to go into the bathroom. I want you to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, did I do my best? And, I thought it was maybe some kind of Jedi trick, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if I turn my back, is he going to knock me out? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't sure, right? I wasn't sure what was going on, right? And so I remember walking backwards from him, right? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to turn my head, right? Back slap, right? And so I walked backwards, seriously, I walked backwards into the bathroom. And as I looked at myself in the mirror, I was like, wow, okay, is this it? Did I do my best? And then I looked deeper into my eyes and I said, did I do my best? And sure enough, as I asked the question, I got really deeper into looking, into my eyes, and I said to myself, did I do my best? And I remember just this burst of energy, as I looked at myself in the eyes, and I started crying because I realized I hadn't done my best. I had gotten a little bit off track, and I realized that at that time I said, wow, I didn't do my best. And so I remember wiping my tears, and I came back out and I looked at my dad and my mom. I said, Mom, Dad, I'd like to say something to you. And I said, I'm sorry, because I did get a little bit off track, maybe too much partying, hanging out, having a good time. And they said, okay. See, the real question is, you have to ask yourself, did I do my best? And, we can fool other people. We can, pretend like we're doing great, but and only you. See, you can fool others, but you can't fool yourself. And so from that moment, I said, you know what, I'm gonna step up. And I remember going back to the University of Virginia. My engineering dean, called me into his office, and he said, Marlon, last semester you got a 1.6 GPA. And I said, yes, Dean, I know. And he said, I have to put you on academic probation. I said, Dean, please don't do that. I'm the oldest of 4 boys, first one to come to college. Don't put me on academic probation. He said, I'm sorry, Marlon, that's our policy. I said, oh, man, okay. I said, okay. And as I was walking out of his office, he said, Marlon, let me ask you a question. I said, yes, Dean. He said, how do you manage your time? I said, Dean, well, I don't miss any of my classes. I go to all my classes. Sometimes I have a 3-hour lab from 2 to 5. I come home, watch a little TV. I go to dinner. After dinner, probably, go play some basketball or hang out with some friends. I probably start studying about 10:30 at night. He said, Marlon, that's not working. He said, come here, let me show you something. And I walked over to him, and he showed me something I'd never seen before. It was a Franklin time management system. And he showed me how I could better manage my time. He had his long-term goals, his short-term goals. He had pictures of his dreams and goals. And I said, wow, okay. And you know, sometimes it's your glitch that becomes your blessing. Because you see, if I didn't have a 1.6 GPA, I would have never been called into my engineering dean's office, and I would have learned about how to manage my time. And so that next semester, I applied what he shared with me, and next semester I went from a 1.6 GPA to a 2.8. And I felt good. You know, I came back into his office, I was excited, had my transcript in hand. I said, Dean, ow, 2.8, bam! You know, threw it on his desk. You know, I was just having fun. He picked up my transcript, looked at it, looked at me, looked at it, looked at me. He said, Marlon. I said, yes, Dean. He said, when you get your homework set back, your quiz, your test, what do you do with it? I said, what? What? Dean, I got a 2.8. Be happy, right? He said, Marlon, no, you don't understand. What you learned at the beginning of the semester, what you learned at the beginning of the quarter lays the foundation. If you're lost at the beginning, you'll be lost trying to catch up. What you should do is go by your professor's office during their office hours, get a little extra help. I said, oh, okay, Dean. You see, he said to me, he shared with me that, you know, everything's a building block. So you don't want to, you know, when you get your homework set back, your quiz, you don't just put it in your desk. No, you should go by your professor's office during their office hour and get a little extra help. Find out, hey, how should have I answered these questions that I got marked incorrect? It made a lot of sense. As I'm about to walk out, he said, Marlon, let me ask you, do you use the Writing Center? I said, no, Dean, that's for kids that really need help. No, I don't go there. He said, I think you should go. You see, the Writing Center, University of Virginia, just like all colleges, universities, you know, they have a writing center where if you're taking an English class or humanities class, anything you got to write a paper and turn it in for your class for a grade, you can take your draft, you can take your paper. Before you turn it in for a grade, you can take it by the Writing Center, and some graduate students or some counselors will review your paper, and they'll give you critique. They'll give you feedback. They'll share some suggestions for how you can enhance it. And so I started going to the Writing Center. Well, going to see one of my professors during his or her office hours, Monday through Friday, taking, you know, my homework, my quiz, my test, getting a little extra help, going to the Writing Center. Next marking period, I went from a 2.8 to a 3.4. And I felt great. I came back in to see my professor, and he was sitting behind his desk. I had my transcript in hand. I said, Dean, bam! 3.4. Ow! He picked up my transcript, looked at it, looked at me, looked at it, looked at me. He said, Marlon. I said, yes, Dean. He said, when you study, do you study by yourself? I said, Dean, do you not like me? He said, Marlon, don't you understand? Students that study together in study groups, they do better than those that study by themselves. I don't know where you are, but when you do your homework and you get stuck on a problem, do you call a friend for help? Do you ask your mom, your dad for help? Some of you are like, no, not my mama, right? Or do you just skip that bad boy? You see, what I'm here to say is, it's in that critical moment when you're stuck, that's when you have an opportunity to grow. And in a study group, 9 times out of 10, there's somebody there to help you. And so after my dean shared this with me, I went and talked to some other students, and we formed a study group. We studied for Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday for 3 hours. We studied for 45 minutes, 15-minute break, 45 minutes studying, 15-minute break, 45 minutes studying, 15 minutes of hanging out. And that next marking period, I went from a 3.4 GPA to all A's. I came back in to see my engineering dean. You know I did. I had the eye of the tiger, right? I was walking. I was like, yo, what's up? Dean, ow, bam! All A's, Dean. He picked up my transcript, looked at it, looked at me, looked at it, looked at me. He said, Marlon. This time I said, yes, Dean. He said, I'm proud of you. And the reason why I share this with you is because when I had a 1.6 GPA, I could have given up. I could have said, man, this electrical engineering degree is not for me. But what I'm here to say is I want you to understand is when you go through those low points, that's when you have opportunity to grow. Everything's an opportunity to grow. You see, in life, it's an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. But it's when you go through those low points, am I right? Is it when you go through those low points, that's when you grow. That's when you learn. That's when you build your character. That's when you build the muscle. It's when you go through those low points. It's when you force to your knees and you got to pray. That's when you really come out a stronger, a more enlightened person. And so I'm sharing this with you because I went from a 1.6 GPA to all A's. Not because I'm so smart, and I don't share it to impress you, but rather to impress upon you. If I can go from a 1.6 GPA to all A's, what can you do? You see, I'm going to let you know a secret. Grades don't tell how smart you are. Grades tell how disciplined you are. And regardless of what's happened last year, last semester, or even last week's exam, I'm here to tell you today's a new day. You can be on the honor roll. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, I get it. Sometimes things come a little bit easier for some people. But what I'm here to tell you, with the right strategies, I just share some strategies. Go see your professors during their office hours. If you're in high school, go before school. Go during lunch. Go after school. Get a little extra help. Use the writing center. You know, there are a lot of, also there's tutors available. You see it all the time. Get the help that you need. And then go ahead and form a study group. I'm telling you those strategies, I promise you, will make a difference. And I wanted to share that with you because we all have some glitches in life. We all have some times when things don't go the way we want. But you have to ask yourself, what's the lesson I can learn? When I had a 1.6 GPA, I learned. And what a blessing it is when my dad said, go to the mirror. And yes, I did walk backwards. And he said, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, did I do my best? Did I do my best? And so I ask you, when you go through challenges and you go through trials and tribulations, just ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? Because every opportunity, every experience in life is an opportunity for growth. It truly is. I am Marlon Smith reminding you there's greatness within you. Remember, what happened last year, what happened yesterday, it's gone. It's history. Can't change it. And really, when you think about the future, it's always out there. It's a mystery. That's why we have this moment right here and now. That's why they call it present, because it's a gift. And I ask you to make the most of your gifts, even the glitches in life. Because glitches in life are an opportunity for growth. There's greatness within you. And remember, your success is your choice. Stay blessed.
Powerful insights. Take care, guys, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Glitch. And remember, your glitch is your gift.